Well, they stopped me in the middle of it. I didn't know how quick I could get back on here. I don't know all these computer things, but back to the doctors. After I got stronger, went back to work. And I worked and worked and worked, and then I got hurt again. I Some guy hit me with in the knee, and my knee bent the wrong way. And there it was, back to the doctors. And they did the surgery on me called porpoise carpet surgery. I'm telling you what, that's the most painful thing you ever seen in your whole life. They stick this camera in your knee socket, but they don't put you out. They just give you this local thing, and it's supposed to numb you like when they pull a tooth. Well, it didn't numb my knee at all. And I'm just there in pain. This guy's looking through this thing and cutting some cartridge out, and I'm seeing it on the screen what I did to my. I ripped all the muscles off one side, and I chipped all the bones on the inside. And every time I moved my knee, it was like grinding sandpaper. And I never could walk again. But I was on a job that I was working for a company that was legal, and they had L&I. I never drawn L&I in my life, but so they gave me L&I for a while. Then they cut me off, and I had to get a lawyer to fight them. And I did that because a friend of mine knew this lawyer. And this was a good lawyer because he was an ex-L&I guy that said retrained. And he retrained him to be a lawyer. So all he did was L&I cases because he knew how to win them. But on L&I, you know the crazy way the government works. First they gotta test you, then they gotta probe you, then they gotta test you, then they gotta probe you. They waste so much money and time. It took me 13 years to beat them in court. My lawyer got me all the back pay and everything. I bought the home I'm in a van to get here, and then I started working on the house. You know, fixing it up, getting it handicap acceptable so I could get around. And this was a pretty good house to start with, flat house. Only had 2 steps to get in. I put a deck off the back and put one of those overground pools. I submerged it in the deck. It wasn't like a built-in pool, so they couldn't charge me money for the inspections and stuff because it was just under the deck, standing up. And I put a top on it because I got so hard to clean it up. And I live in a whole bunch of fir trees. And, everything seemed to end up in the gall-darn pool. So instead of swimming, you were walking around and cleaning it up. Well, I just built it for an exercise pool because I wanted to get stronger. And I still got my pool, and I'm still trying to get stronger. But it got where I couldn't climb the ladder, so I put in steps. And then I couldn't climb the steps, so I put a winch on it so I could winch myself in and out on this here chair, and then I could get out of the chair into my wheelchair. Well, after this last step in the hospital, the one they're trying to sue me for, they're suing me for, they took me back to St. Joe's when I collapsed. And they charged me all $75,000 worth of doctor bills. They say I owe them. And they took a little cyst up the inside of one of my thighs. Nothing. It wasn't hurting me at all. It was draining. That I went to the doctor. He said it's no problem. As long as it's drained, it'll heal. And they thought that was a problem. It wasn't a problem. Right there in front of them was this 60, 80-pound hernia on the side of my body that they put there. So I escaped from that hospital as soon as I got conscious enough. Those idiots, man. My roommate took down a list of the pills I was on. They had me on this pill called Coumadin, made from the Mogul dragon out of his saliva in his mouth. Pure poison shit. But you can't just quit taking it. If you quit taking it, it makes you crazy for a couple of weeks before you get your senses back. And let alone what it does to shock in your body. And when I finally got conscious enough and realized I was in the hospital that did it to me, I had to get the fuck out of there. They didn't want me to leave, but I escaped. I had my family pick me up, and I got the hell out of there. And I come home, and I was home, I don't know how long. I was just in so much pain. Time goes this way and that way. You never know what time it is. And I collapsed again. And they took me to this other hospital, and over by the military base. And they looked at me, and they seen the problem. It was that big old hernia. And so they took the hernia off, and they found that my intestines were all clenched up and had gangrene. I could have figured out it was gangrene with a chemistry set in my garage. And these fancy doctors want to charge me $75 because they can't figure out I had gangrene from an operation that they cost, and now they want me to pay them for it? That's flat ridiculous shit. I mean, they might force me to do something I've never done in my life because I always pay my bills. They're going to force me to go bankrupt over this shit. That's the only way I can be free again and get off and under them, so I can sell my car and my house, so I can get on to try to save the world. Now, that's stupid shit. They're trying to stop me from trying to save the world. But they won't even talk to me. I said, they told me I could have got rid of these bills if I would have read these forms and filled them out in a timely way. How can I fill out forms? I can't even read or write. And they didn't give me no interpreter that could read and write it for me. They figured that's up to me. You don't have no rights when you're illiterate. I graduated from goddamn high school in this state. I got at least as much right as somebody that can't even speak English, I think. They should give me an interpreter. Nah, they're just trying to sue me for everything I got and cover up their crime about giving that hernia to me, making me live with it for 30 years. I don't understand them. All I can do is try to protect myself from them. So I got on the phone. I had 20 days to answer this summons thing they knocked on my door with, and I called up every outfit I could find on the phone to try to talk to somebody to tell me what to do about this, because I couldn't read it. You know, I could figure out 20 days. Well, this lawyer called me back finally, and he told me what to do. It was real simple. I got my roommate on the computer, and he punched the numbers, and out come these forms, filled it out, and I went down and nailed it to him. Haven't heard a word from them since. But I got another one. I got to do the same thing too. So if I know what to do, we'll just send them the forms. But that still gives them control of me, because I can't sell my house, or they'll take it away. They can't touch my retirement, because I retired on L&I, and I get good money. I mean, good money, not next to rich people, but I get enough money I could just sit here and die and be as comfortable as I do until I die. But I ain't not one of those guys to quit doing as if I can do. There's too much to do out there. And this save the world is what I'm trying to do. It's important to the world, to Mama Earth, to all of you out there. You know, I ain't gonna make it that 20 years. I've been too busted up, but my kids will. My kids' kids. And all those other people's kids and your kids and everybody's kids, they're going to have to live here. And if we destroy it before we're gone, we're just leaving to live in garbage. And they ain't going to survive that way. I don't want all of it to go away. There's too much love and there's too many people to just let the earth die. We got to do something about it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. That's why I got out of the bed for the last time. I don't think I'll get out again if I go down again. But every day I'm getting stronger and I'm working real hard on it. I mean, it ain't like I lay in bed anymore. I get into my chair and I'm running around the neighborhood. I got two of these chairs. One my mom left me, and then another one a guy gave me. And this one here I bought from a junkie that the state would give him one, but they wouldn't give me one. But they'll give this guy one. I gave him an ounce of pot, and he gave me two chairs. Two of these brand new chairs. I gave one away because they didn't need it because I had two. One of them's broken down now, but I run out the batteries on them every day. And I can only go as far as this chair will go. You know, sometimes I get stuck on the road trying to get home because I run the batteries out because there's no mileage on these things. All they say is they got power, they don't have power. And sometimes they'll go a long way and sometimes they don't. If I get up in the morning and cook some breakfast and run around the house and clean up and stuff and then try to go downtown to the store, sometimes I can't make it home if I go to more than one store at a time. And when that's your only way of getting around and doing things, you know, I can drive my wheelchair on a bus now, but I got to go 13 blocks to find one. By the time I get to the bus and go where I'm going, I can't do much. I got to get back on the bus and get back within that 13 blocks to get home. You know, I've been stuck out there on the road. And so I finally broke down and got this cell phone. $39, $25 every 3 months. I've never used it. Never had to make a phone call with it because I'm getting pretty good at judging the mileage of this thing chair. But something might break and I need to use it. So I got it with me because it's happened and it's happened twice and that's when I got the phone. That really isn't important. I ain't really important. What's important is the all darn world. And okay, I told you guys that I wanted to get in touch with you, but I didn't tell you how to get in touch with me. So I'm going to say it real slow and easy. My telephone number is 253-537-3431. Repeat, 537-3431. I think you can get that because you can rewind and do this over. And my address is 1324 159th 9th Street, Court East, Tacoma, Washington, 98445. I live in Spanaway, but they call it Tacoma because I'm in the county or something. I don't know why. But that's where I am. If you physically want to come over and give me a hand at getting this shit done. Or buying some of the shit. I'm getting rid of everything I got in my house. Because it's going to take money to get this thing going. The old Miley daughter still runs the world. I always thought trade and working hard run the world. But it isn't that way. It's an almighty dollar. And the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. We got to stop that. That's a vicious circle that's killing the world. And I mean, they're just killing it. And you notice how the rich guys are just, we're in a recession because they know they're killing the world. So they're stealing as much money legally because they write the rules from us. They just take it. And we let them get away with it because we feel helpless like we can't stop them. But we can stop them if we all get together and do it. So that's what I'm here trying to do. Get in touch if you want to help. If not, get in touch just to buy some of the little items I got around here. Every penny will help. Every bit of energy that's out there, you know, if you can just read. and take messages. You know, if you can just make food for somebody that's working. Yeah, just like the old days, they could do barn raising. All the women cooked the food and all the guys worked. You know, there's all kinds of ways we can all get together and get this done. It's we just got to do it, and we can take the control of our life away from the rich, those ones that